I'm trying to
Right,
remember.
look, we're going to start now. So, Mr. Edgar Heritage of Kent Farm, Little Kyneton, you were 100 on June the 22nd, 1999.
That's right.
So I'd like to congratulate you. And what do you put it down to, your longevity? What do you put that down to?
Well, like I just said, clean living and plenty of hard work.
Really?
And still working now because that's the only way to...
Are you still working?
Yes,
Mm.
more or less.
Yes.
I shouldn't live 2 days if I couldn't do something,
Mm.
I think.
Right. So,
Not knowing that might be a stretch.
so you were born in Tysoe.
Yes.
Would you like to tell me about it, about your early life?
Well, I was born at Lower Tysoe, Temple Tysoe then.
Yes.
When I was born, there was never such a thing as Lower Tysoe then. In Badger's Lane, do you know where it is?
Yes, yes. Badger's Lane, yes. On a
Yeah.
farm?
Yes, and
What was the name of the farm?
it was Middleton Farm now, it's Badger's Farm now. And it was my great uncle that it was named after.
Mm.
My mother kept house for him. And she, when he died, she carried on, she married my father and they went on living there.
And so you were born?
That's right,
Mm. Were you the youngest?
the oldest.
Ah, how many brothers and sisters?
Only had 2, but my mother died when I was 3-year-old. And then I've got one sister 2 years old and the other one just born. It was,
Yes.
you know, from birth.
So you went to school in Tysoe?
Yes.
Which school?
Well,
Not the big school. Was there a smaller school there?
there was the school was all combined. The small, the infants and the
Right.
was in one
Yes.
room and you know all the standards in the other rooms.
Do you remember the name of the headmaster?
Well, when I first went, it was Mr. Dodge.
Oh yes. And what about when you left?
Mr. Holland.
Mm-hmm. How old were you when you left school?
13.
13. And what had you learned? Because that was 1913, wasn't it?
As much as I learned now at 18. Easy, I should think.
Mm.
No, I was top of the school for 2 years.
Were you?
Yes, but it was never mentioned. And I've never mentioned it, not till now.
Mm.
Not really. And it didn't bother me about that. But I was stuck in the top class for 3 years.
Mm. And what did you do then?
When I left school to help my dad because he needed somebody to help him. He'd had a rough time losing my mother and having to pay housekeeper and a wet nurse and all sorts of things.
Yes.
You know, for my youngest sister.
So you helped him manage the farm?
Well, I helped work on it anyway. I was quite capable when I left school at 13 of doing as much as any man on the farm.
What
Right.
sort of things did you do?
I started milking when I was 9.
9.
Yeah,
By hand?
yes,
How many cows did you milk?
about 10 then, the days. You know, when they were haymaking and that sort of thing. My dad used to send me back about, milking time to get the cows in, get ready for milking, start milking, I'd come out. 99 times out of 100 I did it all. Because I kept on busy eye making.
And what happened to the milk then, in those days?
It used to go, we used to put it in tins and skim the cream off it
Mm-hmm.
and feed the milk to strong calves. You know, the young cows just born, they had the real milk for about a month, and after that they had the separate, what we call, well, it was the separated milk, because we separate.
Yes.
After I was about 15, I was thinking I'd bought a separator, so instead of having to skim it.
Right.
Then we used to feed the cows, I used to go out, we used to go out helping him feed calves when I was 5-year-old. I can remember that as well as can be before I started school. At night time, in the winter, I used to go out and hold the lantern so as he could see to feed him and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. So did you want to be a farmer when you were older?
Well, I don't know about wanting to be. I just enjoyed doing it, and I've done all my life.
Mm.
And that's one reason why I'm where I am now, I suppose, because I was doing something I liked.
Right. How big was the farm?
Well, there was, when my dad started, he had about 50 acres, and a few years after he took another 50 adjoining, and then in 1910 they took another little farm, 30 acres as well, and when I got to 16 I took that over myself and I farmed there till 1940. From 1915 not till 1940 I farmed that. I gave it up when the war started because they wanted me to plough it all up and I didn't want to be bothered with it, so I gave it up. I got plenty, I had to plough about 200 acres up here. That was the second war, obviously.
Yes, yes. Just getting back, so when did you get married, Mr. Heritage?
Not after the Second War.
The Second War?
No, 1947.
Yes. Oh, right. And did you marry a Tysoe lady?
I married a land girl.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, so she'd been on your farm during the war?
No,
Oh.
but I met her through. We got 2 land girls on the farm, that's how I met her. You see, she came to see them.
Ah, so she knew all about farming.
She was a land girl, she'd been doing the same as the land girls as well.
Yes. So, should we go back then to when you were 16 or 17? What happened during the First World War?
What happened?
Yes, what, did you play any part in that?
No, that was the one I was talking about
Yes.
when I was examining them and so on, you see.
You were called up?
Yeah.
Yes. And what did they say?
Well, they told me I didn't, they said I didn't pass. But they called me up again the next year and had another exam, but they still said I didn't pass then.
And it was your flat feet?
Yeah.
And they've never bothered you farming?
No. No.
So you continued to farm during the First World War?
Oh, yeah.
And when did you come here to Kent Farm?
1916, Michaelmas.
Yes. With your father?
Yes.
Yes. And how big is this farm?
Well, when we came here, this one was up 196.
Mm.
But I've added to it one time and another. It's 350 now.
Really?
It was 340, I don't think it was. I mean,
And your father started off with 50 acres?
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you farm here, by the way? What sort of farm is it?
Nothing now, only grass,
I see.
feeding
Cattle.
lambs and cattle
Yeah.
and so on. But when we first came here, it was arable and we bred horses and cattle and sheep, you know. And when I first came here, I kept rabbits. A
Did
lot
you?
of time rabbits used to make more money out of them than we did out of the cattle.
Did you sell them to the butcher or did you sell them privately?
I sold them to a man that took them to Coventry for the munition workers.
Oh. Mm.
I used to sell young rabbits at 10 shillings a piece, which was a big price then days.
Yes.
I don't know what on earth he got for them off the munition workers.
He'd still make a profit.
Don't they?
Yes. So, anything else you want to chat about your early life or later?
I used to keep, when I was at Tysoe, I used to look after the poultry and used to hatch the chickens on the hens and used to have them on the dinner table like this and when they were first born and feed them with bits of crumbs and hard-boiled egg and so on, you know.
Really? So what do you think of today's farming then, compared with that sort of thing?
Well, it's simple today, they got nothing to do. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, why is that? Because of the machinery?
Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, it isn't the same at all now. My son has just finished egg making, but it's nothing to what we had to do.
Mm. Mm.
I mean, egg making, we had to go all around the fields with rakes turning swaths for a start.
And what time did you start in the morning?
Well, as soon as it was dry enough.
Right. And then what?
You had to turn swaths, and then when it was fit to carry, as we called it, you used to have to put it in rows with the rakes just the same, or hand rakes, and pick it up with forks and put it on wagons with the loader on the wagon. And they've got all names for all the different places you put it on the wagon.
Right.
You know, and they used to tell you where you want, when you got a fork for to put up, they told you where they wanted it. On the corners or blackboards as they call them, or middle. That sort of thing.
And I suppose you finished the day when the light failed, did you?
Yeah. Kept on till, till 10 o'clock at night.
Dark, yeah.
If it was good weather.
So how many days would it take you all to do that?
I used to be at it for a month.
A month, eh?
Yeah.
And how long do your sons take with the machinery?
Well, last week my son cut 36 acres on last Monday, and it was finished and baled and not finished on Saturday night.
Good heavens.
He's got a machine for a start, that turns it like we used to turn with the rakes, and it gets it fitting half the time because it spreads it a bit, and the same machine puts it ready for baling.
Yes.
And they bale it in great big bales now that It don't matter whether they stop out a day or a month. The wet never hurts them.
And so of course you don't have many farm labourers now, do you?
No, not at all. I
And-
didn't know.
No, but
Not in the last part of my farming. I did it all myself.
yeah. And so the farm worker, the local farm worker, didn't have any work.
No, not after this new baling that came in. Before that we used to do it with a big baler, and I used to have one or two counting chaps that used to
Yes.
come at night to help me and that sort of thing. I would love to earn an extra penny, you know, beside the.
But do you think it's been a good thing that to have all this machinery so that men living in the country have had to go farther out to find jobs, haven't they?
Well, it'd have been a good thing if it had been used properly. But everybody used it for profit, not to save work. If you make what I mean.
Yes, I know, yes.
If they'd have used it to save work, same with everything else, everybody could have had a lot easier time.
And what about the paperwork now?
Well, I don't know much about it now, but
There is a lot more.
there's a lot of it isn't much good of it, you know.
Yes. But years ago there was none, or very little, was there?
Not a lot at one time. Although, I suppose it was easy to me, I was pretty good at figures and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
To what some people.
So now,
Right, I mean, I don't,
Yeah.
not saying it to look big or anything, I mean, I knew.
well, you were top of the class, weren't you?
So, the master was a good master. He gave me special lessons because I finished my work at school.
Right.
He gave me no end of special lessons about bookkeeping and all that sort of thing.
So that all came in handy.
Helped me a lot. I've kept accounts all my life, and I still do one of the books now for my son.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, what else do you do? You said you were still working. So what else do you do, Mr. Heritage?
Do the garden.
Do you? What do you do in the garden?
Anything.
So what's your day then? What time do you get up?
About 8:30 now. I can't get up before unless I get up about 5 because everybody's, there's 4 or 5 obviously, and they've always got the bathroom.
But you could get up before.
I couldn't, I suppose, although it's no need to. Not now, I mean I've altered the time a lot. I get up at 8:30, well that's 7:30 or probably 6:30.
Yes. And then do you potter about outside?
No, I get my own breakfast and then I have the paper and I sit here and read the paper for, well, right through from one end to the other practically.
Do you read about the farming news?
Oh, yeah. And the rugby report this morning from last week's markets and,
Oh yes.
and this Monday's as well.
So you still got a big interest in that?
Oh yeah.
So what have you done for pleasure, or leisure I should say, apart from farming? Have you done anything else?
Well, I don't do much now. Only I like to go out and have a meal of a night sometimes and that sort of thing.
But you don't drink?
No.
And you don't smoke?
I might have one small glass of red wine when I go out for a meal,
Right.
like that, that's all. No, I don't go out.
And do you smoke? Or have you
No.
ever smoked?
I smoked till I was about 50, and I chucked it.
That's marvellous.
Mm. They're the most of the gardening. I'd always dig it all, and
Do you still dig?
I thought, yes, I waited now for it to come a good rain to make it. I got something to dig now, and it's too hard to dig.
It is, isn't it? Yes.
On this is very heavy.
Is it really?
Very heavy clay here. That is, well, the man that was here before my dad came here said it was the heaviest land in England.
And he was right.
That I nearly wrote to her.
Do you grow your own vegetables?
Yeah,
Mm.
try to. I've had a lot of trouble this time now. The rabbits kept getting in the garden and spoiled no end of it.
Oh.
I planted Brussels sprouts one day. The next morning they were all gone. They ate the lot.
Can't you catch them and sell them?
And my son shot one only this week.
Mm.
One in the garden.
Yeah.
And it's all wording. They climbed the wire. They said they learned to climb it in Australia when it was 6 foot away, didn't they? It's only 4 foot over here, so
Yeah.
that's easier job for them.
Do you ever go to the markets?
Yeah,
How often?
not often now, but I haven't been able to very well, not since they closed Banbury Market.
Mm.
I used to go there every week.
Yes, that was a shame. And did you see a big difference in the markets from when you used to go, when you were much younger?
Well, in what way different?
Well, I wondered the way it was conducted, or the type of animal, or the restrictions there are.
Not much. The fashions changed with cattle and sheep and lambs, more or less.
Do they?
Yes, years first time when Banbury first started, it was short on cattle, like red cattle. And in a few years, it was all they wanted was for beef. This is what I mean. They wanted Paul Angus.
Right.
And then they got to Herefords, and then Herefords were too fat. They said, and they got to all these foreign sorts like limousines and Simmentals and such like. But I don't like them. I don't like their meat. It's too dry to me thinking. It's got no fat in it, and if it's got no fat in it, it's got no taste, is what I say.
So what's your favourite?
Elephant cattle, they're the fattest, and they're good luck the nicest and all. We always kept elephants up, right up till the Banbury Market closed.
Really? Hmm. I read today from August the 1st, the ban is being lifted.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know what to think. I don't. Folks will have to wait and see with that, but I don't think it's going to help very much.
No? Why is that?
Because I think there won't be any export trade. All these European countries are all joined together, and they'll supply the trade and supply the cattle themselves. I reckon they won't want ours. I reckon they won't buy it anyway if we don't join. That's what I reckon.
Mm. Do you think we could sell it anywhere else? America?
There's plenty of room to sell it in Africa, but they got no money to pay for it, have they?
Mm. So what would happen then if we couldn't sell?
Well,
Could
they'll
we,
they'll just have to supply their own market, more or less. And
would that be enough?
no, I don't think so. Won't be much good. My son won't buy any cattle. Won't have anything to do with cattle, he says, so he knows a bit better, more about it than he does now.
Yeah.
He's got no faith in it.
How do you see the future then for the farmer?
Not much. Not much hope of being any good.
Is this because we joined the common market or Europe?
No, I don't think that's it. It's just circumstances, more or less. It's the BSE trouble
Yeah.
put so many folks off beef and so on and that, and they'll never go back on it, a lot of them. I don't think so anyway.
Well, just to conclude, how would you, looking back on your 100 years, have you had a good life, Mr. Heritage? Have you enjoyed your life and your
Yes.
farming?
Always, because I enjoy doing it.
And would you do it all over again?
Yeah, if I could. And just have a job probably, shouldn't I? That's all. I mean, I've seen it from when it was all done by hand,
Yeah.
till it's all done by machinery practically. And they'd never go back to doing it by hand again. I mean, when I was, only 5 or 6 years old, I used to go in the harvest field. The first job I did was lay the bonds for the reapers. And
What are the bonds?
you had to cut so many straws in a nice shape, all up together like a rope,
Right.
and lay them down for them to put the
Oh, I see.
sheep on.
Yes.
And of course I said, soon I had to learn how to tie them up and had to do that, and it wasn't long before I was reaping as well. I could reap, no, I learned how to reap and fag, as they called it, that was for beans, a hook and a stick, and then I learned how to mow it with a scythe with a bow on it. And that pushed it up into a sheep. The bow on the outside pushed
Right.
it up into a sheep.
That was one of those. Yes.
It wasn't long before we got a binder. That saved all that.
Amazing.
And as soon as combines came out, I had a combine that saved everything. Threshing and everything, which was, threshing corn was a dirty job. We used to have a week here sometimes, and just a week threshing corn, with an engine and a threshing machine.
It's dusty, isn't it? Very
Yeah.
dusty, yes.
One of the girls that worked for me in the war, the second war, she'd been going round with a threshing machine, and that's how I managed to get her for one reason, because she came here threshing, and she sort of asked if I could find her a job, and she's just died through that reason of going round threshing. She had farmer's loan, and she had to have oxygen. She'd been having oxygen for about 10 years
Oh.
and she couldn't go without it at the finish.
Mm.
Just had to sit and read all day, nothing else. Shouted.
But you never had any effects of that?
No,
That is
no, that is. I had as much dust as anybody other of those things. Because I used to go out, and I used to go out nearly every night here in the winter and grind corn for the cattle. I'd got an engine and a grinder and well, sharp machine poker and thing and nothing. Mixed corn for the cattle. I mean, it was awful dusty grinding the corn, but it never affected me. Well, I don't know.
It was quite
Funny.
a hard life though, wasn't it?
Eh?
It was a hard life in those days, doing
Might-
everything by hand.
Might have been, but
But you didn't know any different?
it didn't worry me at all, not feeling.
Yeah.
I used to, I reckon I always worked 16 hours a day, every day of the week practically.
Really? No holidays?
No, I've never had but one. I went to Canada to see my sister in 1950 something. That's the only holiday I've ever had where my holidays were going to market. And that was, and I never stopped there 5 minutes after my cattle was.
Really? How long were you in Canada?
5 weeks.
Were you glad to be back?
Well,
Well, if you've never had a holiday, I was thinking.
I nearly made up my mind to go out there and farm. Because they could do it so much easier than we could.
Yeah.
I got a sister out there and her son, he went out one morning at 5 o'clock on a section 80 acres. And he came in at 3 o'clock and he ploughed the lot. Never believe it, would you? 80 acres, you know. I don't mind. He'd got 2 ploughs side by side and they were both of them about as wide as a road.
That's about 10 fields, isn't it? 80 acres. 10 large fields.
Well, probably, yeah. Although we've got quite a few here that are nearly 20 acres each.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
2 or so just done I'm making it. Both 18 acres. One they did the week I was 100, next year that's 22 acres.
What did you do on your 100th birthday?
Oh. Sat here and talked to visitors.
Oh.
Have lots of visitors. And lots of cards. I had between 60 and 70 cards.
Wow. That would be nice to end on.
I didn't know I got so many friends.
Do you mind if I ask one question?
That was
Still
two.
wrong, but can be separated from
Yeah.
the lot. I've been very quiet so far, Mr. Heritage, because it's not my job to speak on the tape. That's Molly's. But I was just wondering, for my own interest, do you remember a vicar called Edward Holmes? He was a young man. I think he was an Australian.
Only you asked me that. I remember him about as well as any one of the vicars I knew at Tysoe.
Really?
He used to come and help us haymaking and harvesting. He loved it.
Did he enjoy being a vicar?
I don't think he did much.
I've got to say,
He'll have you, Amy.
well, that's right. He strikes me as quite a romantic figure. All I know about him is that he was here for only a couple of years.
That's right.
And there's a reference to him in Joseph Ashby of Tysoe that says he was this strange young man that not only allowed Methodists to have burials, but stood there respectfully and joined in the service as one of the congregation. What sort of man was he? Was he quiet? What sort of man was he? Quiet, noisy? Did he have children?
No, he got no children. He got his wife. He didn't get on very well with her. I think she was just a bit, she was too up for him. He was a very lowly sort of man. And she was a, what did you call it, one of the aristocracy.
Oh, right. Ah, yes. Up, that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was an Australian. How did he meet her?
I don't know.
And they were married while they were here?
No, he was married when he came.
Right. When he went up to Australia, did he take her with him?
No,
Ah.
no. No, I remember him going to Australia. He gave me a Winchester rifle before he went. Yes. And he was killed in the Dardanelles, wasn't
That's right. He joined the Australian Expeditionary Force,
he?
I
Yeah,
believe.
shame. He was a nice man.
You don't know what part of Australia he was from?
I don't know anything about
No,
him.
if we knew,
I
I
didn't
could
know. I didn't know where they came from, Australia.
Well, I'm only guessing because the way he went to Australia and joined the Expeditionary Force, it may have been like going to join the Foreign Legion, I suppose, if you just wanted to
You see,
escape.
he emigrated to Australia in 1911.
That's right.
but you see, he could still be on the at the Hall of Remembrance, which is a terrific thing, and
Yeah.
the name, and I go there, and
What-
I could look up his name.
What happened to his wife?
I don't know. Never knew anything much about that.
What was his first name, Dave?
Edward.
Now, lots of folks emigrated then. There was one of my cousins, he used to help the sign making as well, and he was quite pally with Mr. Holmes,
Yeah.
but he went to Canada, he emigrated to Canada at the same time in 1911, in October I think it was.
1911. That's it. Really interesting about.
Did he ever tell you anything about his family?
No,
Whether he had brothers or sisters?
no, never heard much about it.
So he was
No.
killed at the Dardanelles.
I remember one thing he said, well, I don't know what it said, when my dad got married while he was there, the second time, then asked him whether he married another
Oh.
lady, and he gave him a present, a galvanised bucket and a cream tin. And I don't remember what he put on it. A practical present to a practical man, and this practical wife.
Well,
remember
see,
that
that's
as well as
marvellous quote. Fancy remembering that.
Thanks, Mr. Heritage.
Ethical present.
I knew quite a few of the vicars from at Tysoe,
Yeah, he's the one that always...
Mr. Dodgson was the first I really knew.
I've got his walking stick.
Have you?
Yeah, I've got his walking stick at the vicarage.
Oh, in the vicarage.
Yeah.
Does it stay there?
Well, I keep it for safekeeping for the moment so I can house it in church properly.
Right, yes.
What was he like?
He started a lads' brigade at Tysoe, and my father was one of the lieutenants in it.
Right. Somebody told me that Mr. Dodgson was quite fierce.
Fierce.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know him very well because I wasn't very old. I was only 10 when the Strobes came.
Were you in the boys' brigade?
I,
Were you in the boys' brigade?
no, it all fell through as soon as Mr. Dobson went.
Ah,
I was in the choir 3 years.
were you?
I joined the choir when I was 9.
Well, then your voice broke.
Never broke. That's the truth.
Really? It must have been the cigarettes.
No, it didn't break. I could never sing. I couldn't sing tenor nor bass, not to any good. I had to sing baritone after. You know.
Was it a mixed choir?
Yes, it wasn't when I first joined, but it was later. Both my sisters were in it. At the last part of the time we were at Tysoe. I said there was 11 heritages in it.
Oh, it's a well-known name, isn't it? Heritage.
It was.
Yeah.
There's nobody there now, is there?
Well, there's Dorry Heritage. You know, she's got another name now, Dorry
yes,
Smith.
Smith now.
But she was a Heritage.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Mrs. Heritage lived next door to me for a while, her mother. So what relation was she to you? A cousin? Or second cousin? What was her first name? Lillian.
Fran's wife.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Fran was my cousin.
Oh, it was his wife, yes.
Yeah.
She always wore makeup.
She was a
Always
Lomas, wasn't
beautifully-
she?
Yes. She always beautifully turned out in her 70s and 80s. I bumped her once when Dolly went.
Is there the Lomas, Mrs. Lomas,
Yes.
looked after, Mrs. Lomas, her grandmother, looked after my sister that was just born when my mother died. She was...
She was the wet nurse.
Aye,
She was the wet nurse.
yeah. Mrs. Lomas, she lived there.
So that would have been, I wonder who that was.
She-
How old was your father when he remarried? Or how old were you? I mean, were you grown up?
I was just 11, 19,
Yeah.
June 1910 he married.
So these sisters, were they your stepsisters?
No, there was
They were the...
two, you see, I was 3 when my mother died, and then there was one, she was just 2, I was nearly 4, and then there was my next sister,
Oh,
just
I
born, you see.
Yeah.
And then when he married again, I had a
Yeah.
half brother and half sister. My
Oh,
half sister
oh, I
died last
see.
year, half brother's still alive,
Right.
and he lives at right out the other side of Edinburgh.
I know what I was going to ask you, because this isn't recorded now. Have you ever had an illness? Have you ever been ill?
Not really ill,
No, I mean really ill. You
No.
haven't been, no.
no.
That's wonderful, isn't it?
I had all the silly things you could have when
Yeah.
I was a kid. Had measles 3 times.
Did you know you could get measles
That
again?
much-
I didn't.
that
Yeah, I
actually.
did, yes.
much.
I say people don't realise you can have measles more than once.
I had,
Yes.
had it 3 times.
Mm.
I had mumps, I had whooping cough, and
So all the childhood things,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. That's marvellous, isn't it, not to have anything seriously wrong. Was there a doctor here then when you were little? When you were very small, was there a doctor in Tysoe?
not in Tysoe, he lived at Chennington.
Yeah. That was a long way to go. You couldn't afford to be ill, could you?
When my second mother had her first, I had to cycle up to Chennington to fetch him.
Oh, did you?
I was 12.
Oh, goodness me.
I can remember cycling up there. Time or two. to fetch the doctor.
What did it cost to have the doctor out? Do you remember?
No,
Not when you were 11, because some people couldn't afford it, could they?
Dr. Wraith, his name was then, and another one came, Hipwell.
Really?
No, I don't know much about it since then. Not till he came either.
See, not knowing. I bet
There was
everybody
a
in
doc-
Tysoe has been to it.
There was a doctor here that wasn't much good. he was too much of a big man, if you can make it out. I mean, he was always out at dinners at night and so on, and if he was wanted, they had to wait till he was ready. That's, of course,
That's bad, isn't it?
that was talk, a lot of it, perhaps, but he wasn't much good.
Mm.
He neglected quite a few, but I'm sure he did.
Mm. Well, thank you ever so much for talking to us for so long. You're not tired or anything now, are you?
No, there's something here that you might be interested in.
You have
Have a look at this.
that.
Tysoe miscellany.
Oh,
Ah, I've heard of this book.
Hey,
I've heard of this book and I've not seen a copy.
oh, who was John Heritage then?
hey,
Who's John Heritage?
well, I can't explain it very well, but he's from the same family, but is going back a long way.
I see. So you linked up somewhere in the past.
His grandfather was my father's cousin.
Right.
No, my grandfather's cousin.
So his father's cousin was your grandfather's cousin, yes. So, well, you're definitely related, aren't
Oh
you?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, he comes here. He's coming very soon, I think, from what I heard the other day. I've had to give him a lot of
Oh,
information about one thing and another. Somebody gave him a lot of false information that I've had to
you had
correct
to
for
put it
him.
right, yes.
He's writing a book on the heritages.
Is he? Oh,
Yeah.
what a good idea. 1642, have you got the same one as me? In the
1646.
introduction?
Uh,
It'll be over here.
That's
Oh no, it's different.
that's stories, isn't it? Of,
There was already a
This
school
is-
here when the Civil War began in 1642.
really?
Yeah, and it was at the old school. You see, that's why I wasn't sure when our school started, because I knew they were in the old school for many, many years. See, and it bears the War Memorial plaque, which was probably the first building in Tysoe to be used as a school.
where was this?
The old school.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No, I've been in that a good many times.
Yeah, well, I think, well, we have
Used-
now.
Used to be a reading room.
That's right.
Used to go there to read the paper.
Where's the chapter? See, the same names come up all the time, don't they? The Middletons, the Blunds. You know, the same names run through Tysoe, don't they? The
Yeah.
same surname.
What's that? The managers?
Well, it's, yes, the managers. Middleton, Styles. But of course we've no Styles left, and we've no Middletons left.
Isn't there?
Well, I don't think so.
No.
But I know there's no Styles, because after Rose, Alwyn Styles lives in Banbury. Do you remember Alwyn?
Yeah.
Yes. And then Rose died, and her two children, they went away.
Who was this? Who
Mrs.
died?
Rose Styles. Do you remember Rose?
I don't.
She'd be round about,
Whose wife is she?
Alwyn Styles, yes.
Alwyn?
Yes. He was the son of the at the bakehouse. He had, in the bakehouse at the Upper Tysoe, they had two sons, didn't they? Mr. Styles, he was the baker.
Alwyn and...
Alwyn and somebody else. But Alwyn didn't want to be in the bakehouse.
No, he lived next door to us when we were at the Lord Tysoe, Temple Tysoe, yeah.
Did he?
And his wife was
A Middleton.
Middleton, that's right. They went to right out by Banbury, didn't they?
Yes.
Oh, by Oxford practically.
And do you remember Mr. Middleton? I've forgotten his first name. Mr. and Mrs. Middleton, they,
What?
I don't know their first name, but
John?
John, that's right. He lost a leg or something in the war.
Oh,
Was that John? And I can't think of
no,
his
that
name.
was Ewart Stars, wasn't it? Alwyn's brother,
Oh no, it was Middleton.
wasn't it?
Yes, yes.
But
But Mrs. Middleton was Mr. Styles' sister. Alwyn Styles had a sister.
Yes.
I'm sure that's right. Or was Mr. Middleton Rose Styles' brother? I'm not sure.
That's more like.
That's more like it. Rose Styles was a Middleton,
Yeah.
and it was her brother, and they lived opposite each other at the end of Middleton Close. Since I've come here, that is. Yes.
Now I can remember Middleton Close when there was no house in it.
I know, yes. And do you remember the Bluns in Upper Tysoe?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Blun is still living, the younger Mr. Blun is living opposite where the bakehouse was, yes.
I don't know.
No, you don't know those, no.
They're the old ones.
It's so interesting, all the managers.
Joe Blun was the, what do you call it, harness maker and the knacker.
Oh, was he?
Knacker man and everything.
Oh. I think this one is a bit, you know, he's a bit of all sorts.
Yeah.
Were the managers the same as the governors then? School managers?
I'm not sure. It's much the same, I should
It
think.
must be, yes, yes.
Probably gone back to the original pattern nowadays.
Alwyn Stowes lived at Lower Tysoe when he was first married, and then he went to Burland, lived there quite a long
Oh,
time.
he lived at Burlands, did he?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he lived there quite a long time, and then he went to, right, what is the name of the place out by Oxford or Cannes? Right, for the minute.
I only know Adderbury and...
His daughter married out there, out by Oxford. I don't know whether she's still there or not. Whether she's still alive, probably not,
no.
because she was getting on,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
she'd be 80 now anyway, if she, or more.
Oh, a youngster. This is Dodgson, yes, at the January meeting of the... Yes, they're school governors now, but they were called managers then.
Ah, my father in Edgar Heritage, that is his.
Oh, that's your father, right.
He was the
managing,
He was the treasurer.
The treasurer, right.
Yeah,
right.
he was the treasurer for over 20 years.
Was he?
Yeah.
Was that N Heritage? What was his first name?
Edgar Heritage.
What's the N for? Nigel.
Nicholas.
Nicholas, right.
I got my son's name is Nicholas.
Is it? Oh, yes. So the average attendance was 132
That's about it.
and the total on the register was 152. Isn't that interesting? That's really interesting.
That's
yes.
about that what it was when I was there.
Yes.
So well over 100, I know.
Ah.
Mr. Horn was a wonderful good master.
Was he? Yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard that from somebody else.
wonderful good chap he was. I tested him, you know, and he was the best master in Warwickshire.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, of course, we've had good heads of this school. We've got a very good head at the moment.
yeah.
Yes, very good.
I made it a secondary school when Mr. Owen was there for that reason,
Yeah.
because he was such a good man.
Wow. Yes, he was a scoutmaster, Mr. Horn. And
Yeah,
yes, he took
Oh,
six
yeah.
boys to Birmingham to
I
a
was-
scout
I
exhibition.
was a scout leader.
Were you? Yes.
And he made, you know, he made me monitor in charge of the gardening at school.
Oh, so you had green fingers then?
Well, I don't know, I've always done gardening since I could.
So I'm trying to find out if you're mentioned at all in any of these. Oh, Mr. Frost, that's not the Mr. Frost that lived on the corner of, what's it called? Mr. Frost, he played the organ. Do you remember?
I lived at the orchard.
That's right, the Orchards. Oh, the Marquis of Northampton gave a half-day treat at Compton with Yates.
My dad sent a wagon and a horse to take.
Yes, I heard that. They
Yes,
used
they
to go
would.
in a wagon,
All
yes.
in wagons.
Yeah.
I remember going to that.
Oh, I love this. Miss Bryan, this was in 1911. Miss Bryan did not arrive at school until 11 a.m. because she had burst a bicycle tyre.
She came from Bryles.
Did she? And Miss Bamford has been making a habit of arriving about 10 minutes late. I have spoken to her about it.
Yeah.
Isn't this lovely? Oh, you went to Old Lodge. Yes, class 4 went to Old Lodge for a geography lesson.
Miss Bamford.
Miss Bamford, yes.
She gave me the stick once on my hand.
Did she? Did it do
Yes.
you any harm?
No,
No, of course not.
but she gave it me when it ought to have been somebody else.
Oh.
That's what vexed me.
Ah,
Somebody made an horrible noise in the school.
and they blamed you.
Somebody did. I don't expect it was the man that's kid as probably as did it.
Yes,
Someone
yes.
did. Blame me. No, I had the stick for it. I
Oh.
didn't vote then.
This is nice. A 1908 Empire Day. After religious instruction, there was a lesson on the growth of the British Empire. There you are. You want to take a class, the demise of the British Empire.
Like eating grit.
There was
The Union Jack was raised on the church tower, and
Okay.
2 verses of the national anthem were sung. Those were the days when we were very patriotic. There were going to be races on the hills, but these were cancelled through rain, and the children were given buns and sweets in the school instead. Oh, this is lovely.
there was too much said about the British Empire.
Oh, was there? Oh dear.
Then-
I'm very patriotic.
Well, I preached it in school
Yeah.
when I was a kid that Germany was getting too big
Oh, really?
and wanted putting down.
That was before the First World War.
Yes. And when the war started, it was started because Germany declared war on the Balkans.
That's right. That's right.
And
That
they
was-
declared war on Germany. If they'd have left Germany to have put the Balkans in their place, we should never had either of the wars.
No,
you
well,
know.
we still got.
No this trouble as
No.
we've had now.
Well, I was going to say we've still got trouble in the Balkans
Yeah.
because it's always there, isn't it?
Yeah,
That could have been the 100 Years' War, and we would have been out of it altogether.
yeah.
Alexander the Great was a Macedonian, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
That's Balkan as well, more Balkan
Yeah.
invasions.
Always, there's always been.
It was a creed though then the days as Germany was getting too big,
Yeah.
building too many warships and so on. They thought they were gonna quite us, but I don't think they were. All they were trying to do was make an import of their own.
That's right, that's
Wasn't it?
right. And Germany have done it anyway without all that
yeah.
now. In 1904, you were only 4, the children of Joseph Ashby kept home because of measles. And the next day, or 4 days later, over 50 children are absent with measles.
And it said,
I love that.
it's somewhere close to there. It says Edgar Heritage Aged.
Well, I'm looking, yes, I'm looking to see if I can find any mention of heritages.
But
I love all these things. And in 1904, the headmaster said, I am this day 64 years of age, and by the mercies of God in good health and strength.
that was Mr. Dodge.
Yes.
I can remember him
Yes,
well.
wonderful. Lizzie Heritage and Rose Pargeter fainted in school.
Who?
Lizzie Heritage and Rose Pargeter. Now Pargeter is that Rose Parrot that is now, because she's 90 something. Do you remember Rose Parrot? She married in the First World War, but her husband never came back. He was killed. I don't remember her. She's in the nursing home now, but I know she's 90.
I remember her, Rose Pargeter. She was quite a big woman.
Yes.
Very big woman.
I don't know about big, but she's not small. I wondered if that was Rose Pargeter, you know, then. Because Pargeter, they owned places in Stratford-on-Avon. They owned cafes and things.
But the Rose Pargeter, I remember, she was older than me, so.
Ah, so it wouldn't be her.
Yeah.
Oh, the cuckoo was heard for the first time. That's January, February, March, April.
What day?
9th of April.
9. That's early.
Well, that's why it's in here, I expect.
It's
Yeah.
generally the 23rd of April
Yeah.
when we use it the year first.
This is interesting, Mr. Heritage, because he puts the year first, then the month,